Hi students, welcome to first year commerce class. In our previous class we have discussed about features of joint stock company. We learnt that joint stock company is a association of persons, group of persons who have got ability to contribute capital, and the company will issue shares. What is a share? I have given you the definition. The smallest part of the capital of a company is called as share. So, the company management, the promoters will decide the value of the share. It may be 100 rupees, 50 rupees, 5 rupees, 500 rupees, 5000 rupees, according to the size and operations of the organization. The share value is decided by the promoters. So, according to the capacity of every investor, every shareholder, they will buy a certain number of shares. So, when people buy the shares, they will give money to the company. Okay, share is like a document, a certificate, where you buy the document and you pay money to the company. So, by issuing shares, a company will get capital. So, with the capital, what they will do? They will accumulate all the factors of production, like they will buy the land, they will buy the machinery, they will buy the factory building, they start production of goods. So, after selling of the goods in the market, when they get profit, that profit will be distributed among the shareholders. We had so many discussions, examples, okay, what is the share value, how many number of shares they purchase, who are shareholders, who are directors. I have given everything while discussing about features of joint stock company. In this class, we are going to discuss about advantages of joint stock company. In my previous classes, I told you that every form of business organization, whether it is sole proprietorship, joint Hindu family firm, or joint Hindu family business, or cooperative society, or partnership, or joint stock company, every form of business organization has got its own merits and demerits. So, if you understand features well, it will be very easy to understand advantages and disadvantages. In features, we have learnt that in joint stock company there is no limit for membership. Okay, limited liability is there. There is a democratic management, clear, and it will continue to exist. By the death or resignation of any director or withdrawal of capital by any shareholder is not going to affect the continuity of joint stock company. It runs forever. All these features we have learnt. So, here we are going to discuss today advantages of joint stock company. Advantages are also called as merits. Advantages are also called as merits. Okay. The first advantage of joint stock company is limited liability. Limited liability means any shareholder, after investing his money into a joint stock company, will not lose his private property irrespective of the company's huge losses, irrespective of company's huge and heavy losses. For example, say Mr. X has invested in Tata Limited. Mr. X has invested 10,000 rupees. Okay, say he has purchased 100 shares. Mr. X has invested 10,000 rupees by purchasing 100 shares of Tata Limited or some X Limited or some Y Limited. Forget about the name of the company. In some limited company, he has purchased the shares. So, when you purchase the shares, what you have to do? You have to give money. Just like when you go to a bookshop and you buy the book, say this is the share. If this share I am purchasing, means I have to give the money. Like a bookshop owner fixes the price of this book, the company will fix the share value. So, accordingly we have to pay money. So, this person, Mr. X, has purchased 100 shares from Tata Limited and he has invested 10,000 rupees. Say after few years, say this was done in the year 2015. Say in 2020, the company has incurred heavy losses. Say there is a loss of some 500 crores. Okay. If company is earning profits, the shareholder is given dividend. Now here who is the shareholder? Mr. X. The person who purchased shares is called as the shareholder. The person who purchases shares of a joint stock company is called as shareholder. So Mr. X is a shareholder. He has given 10,000 rupees to Tata Limited. So after 5 years, this company has incurred a loss of 500 crores. Still, this company will not ask you money to pay extra. No one will come to you because you are the shareholder. Company has incurred heavy losses. You pay extra money above this 10,000. No one is going to ask you. At most, company incurred heavy losses also. You will lose only this 10,000. More than 10,000, you need not pay. That means your private property is not taken to clear the loans of the company. Company 500 crores, no. Even 1500 crores is loss. No one is going to come to you. Even 15,000 crores also loss for this company. The management of the company or any bank or any creditor is not going to touch the shareholder's private property. So that is the greatest advantage we have. In other business organizations like sole proprietorship or partnership, we did not have this facility. There the liability was unlimited. Means if business property is not sufficient to clear the loans, the private property means your household property, like your jewelry, your cupboards, your fridge can be taken off to pay off the money. Clear? So that is the reason limited liability is always advantage. Limited liability is always advantage because you will lose only your investment. What is your investment here? 10,000. Irrespective of this loss, even 15,000 crores loss is there, your private property is not going to be taken. So that is advantage of joint stock company. The second one is large financial resources. Large financial resources means heavy amount of capital is available for these joint stock companies, which is not possible for others because here we do not have any limitation with respect to number of members. Like in partnership, the maximum limit was only 20. In sole proprietorship, only there was one member. In joint Hindu family, we cannot take outsiders as members. But here, in case of joint stock company, particularly in case of public limited company, there is no limit for membership. In previous class, while discussing about features, I told you, for public limited company, minimum 7, maximum unlimited. For private limited, minimum 2, maximum 50. Clear? So for public limited company, minimum 7, maximum unlimited. So that is the reason, as we can admit any number of persons from any corner of the world. A shareholder from America also can buy the shares of Indian Hyderabadi company, no issue. An Hyderabadi can buy the shares of an American company. So we can attract investment from all parts of the world. Only thing is you have to issue shares and get the capital. That's how we get more amount of capital. Large financial resources is nothing but more capital. Next, continuity of existence. Continuity of existence means company runs forever, permanent existence. For example, if this shareholder has sold off his shares, or one of the director has resigned or died, or your MD resigned, your chief executive officer resigned, in 1 or 2 years you have incurred heavy losses. No, the company is not going to be stopped. It runs forever. Already we have learnt in features. A company is a artificial person. It is created by law. So we can dissolve it only as per the legal provisions. according to the Companies Act 2013 amended. So 2013 Companies Amendment Act, we can dissolve it. Otherwise, manually, normally, if a person resigns or if a person withdraws capital or some losses will arise, no, company is not going to stop its proceedings. It will run forever. That is the greatest advantage we have got in case of joint stock company. Continuity of existence. Next. Benefits of large scale operations. Benefits of large scale operations. What do you mean by operations? Is it the operation carried out by a doctor? No. Operation means business activities. Operation means business activities. So what are the business activities we have? Like production of goods, distributing them in the market, sales, purchasing of raw material, all these are called our business activities. Suppose if I have to manufacture this marker, means I have to buy the raw material. Whatever the plastic is required for this, I have to buy, I have to appoint workers, I have to install machinery, then I start producing this marker. After production of this marker, I will be able to sell it in the market. Then I will get the profit. So this is the business activity. So here, large scale operations means conducting the business activities on a large scale basis. Like suppose per day, if I manufacture only 50 markers, it is small scale. If per day I manufacture 5000 markers, it is called large scale. Now when I can manufacture more number of units per day? When I have got heavy machinery, more amount of capital, more raw material, more workers are with me, then I can manufacture more number of units. So because this joint stock company has got more capital, as you know that for every business activity you require cash, you require capital. Because this capital is available, a joint stock company can go for large number of units manufacturing. Okay, it can produce more number of units. Now you may have a doubt, sir, what is the benefit of producing goods on large scale basis? What is the difference if you manufacture 50 units and 5000 units? Remember that whenever you enter into entrepreneurship, cost of production is inversely related to the number of units manufactured. Cost of production is inversely related to the number of units manufactured. Means if you manufacture less number of units, manufactured, cost of production will be high. Okay, if this is low, that is high. If this is more, that will be less. For example, if I am manufacturing 50 markers, each marker may take 40 rupees. If every day I am manufacturing 50 markers, to manufacture each marker, my expenditure will be 40 rupees. But if I am manufacturing 500 markers, my cost will be only 30 rupees. See, here number of units have increased, cost has decreased. That is the relation I was telling. Less number of units manufactured, cost will be high. More units, cost will be less. That's what I told. Cost of production is inversely proportionate to the number of units manufactured by a joint stock company. So if you increase the number of units production, cost will decrease. It will come down from 40 rupees to 30 rupees. Now how it will become benefit to us? Once the cost decreases, your profit will increase. Say for example, if you are manufacturing at 40 rupees, you have to sell at 42 rupees. You cannot sell at 50 rupees because if your price increased, as you learn in your economics, If price increases, demand decreases. But here, as the price has decreased from 40 rupees to 30 rupees, so rather than selling the commodity at 45 rupees, you can sell at 35 rupees. Okay. Now you see, your competitor, someone else who was manufacturing only 50 markers, his price will be 45 rupees, and you are manufacturing 500 units, your price is 35 rupees. So because your price is less than your competitor, you can sell more number of units in the market. That is the relation. Whenever you venture into entrepreneurship, this relation you have to understand. Always do the business on a large scale basis. Very simple example I will tell you. You go to a banana vendor, you ask him that I want 1 dozen banana. He will say 50 rupees. Okay, he will say 50 rupees per dozen. Suppose if you say that in our house some festival is there, some function is there, iftar party is there, or some Diwali festival is there, I want to buy 10 dozens. So immediately what the vendor will say, what the fruit vendor will say, okay sir, if you want 10 dozens, I can give you at 40 rupees only. You see, when you were asking for 1 dozen, he was telling 50 rupees. Now when you are asking 10 dozens, his price has decreased to 40 rupees. So is it benefited you or not? This transaction from 1 dozen to 10 dozens, if you have increased the scale, if you have increased the quantity, what happened? The price has decreased. Similarly, in a giant stock company, you can buy the raw material at cheaper rate. If you buy little bit of raw material, you have to pay high cost. But if you buy bulk quantity of raw material, you can buy at less rate. Similarly, if you manufacture more number of units, you can install heavy machinery, advanced machinery you can install, and you can produce more number of units with reduced cost. That is the advantage of large scale operations. Then comes liquidity. What do you mean by liquidity? Converting of your shares into cash. So here say Mr. X has purchased 100 shares by giving 10,000 rupees. After certain number of months, if you want your money back, you can sell off these shares into the market. Like we sell off our gold and get cash back. Similarly here, liquidity means converting of your asset into cash. So when you had money, you have converted money into shares. When you require money, shares can be converted into cash without waste of time. There is a ready-made stock market, is called stock exchange, is available in every capital city of India. So stock brokers are there. Online also you can sell off. So by selling your shares, you can get back your money. That is called liquidity. Then comes professional management. Professional management means we will appoint expert managers. Because we have got more amount of capital, we can pay higher salaries and we can recruit different managers for different departments. Like purchase department will have purchase manager, sales department will have sales manager, accounts department will have accounts manager, like that. Various experts can be appointed for different departments of our organization, and because of their skill and experience, we can maximize our profits. This facility was not there in the previous organizations because they did not have this money. They cannot afford the payment of salaries. But here, as we got more amount of capital, we can pay higher salaries. Like for example, you require a accounts manager, we can recruit a chartered accountant. We can pay him 50,000 rupees salary per month. So naturally, he will do better services. He will provide better services for our company. A finance manager can give you better ideas. A production manager can give you his experience, and he will help you to produce more number of times with limited resources. So always professionals are very experts in their respective fields, and naturally they will give best out of their experience. Next, research and development. Always giant stock companies never compromise with the quality of goods and things they produce, they offer in the market. Always they try to innovate the things. Always they come out with new products, with new features. For that, what we require? Research and development. Research means innovate the new things. Appoint scientists, search about the market. What are the requirements of the consumers? what type of goods are to be manufactured, what are the modifications are to be made in the existing model. That is the reason you see we are able to enjoy new bikes, new cars, new mobiles, new pets, new textiles, new models of footwear, only because of research and development done by the joint stock companies. For research and development, we require crores of rupees. We require the services of experts. We require the services of professionals. We require the services of engineers and scientists. So that can be done only by joint stock company, but not other small firms. Next, tax benefits means normally joint stock companies will have to pay tax, but government of India will give lot of tax benefits to joint stock companies in order to encourage them to produce more and more number of units. So every joint stock company will enjoy some tax exemptions, means they need not pay tax on certain issues, certain items. Next, employment opportunities. This is very much required for the Indian society, because you know that India is struggling with unemployment problem. Okay, right from your childhood you are learning these things in your social studies. What are the common problems of Indian economy? Population explosion, overpopulation and unemployment problem. These two are leading to poverty, garibi. So if you want to eradicate poverty, means you have to give the people jobs. So by establishing more joint stock companies, we can provide more and more number of jobs. Employment opportunities means giving jobs. So by having more number of joint stock companies, we can provide more jobs to the Indian society. Then the last one is balanced regional development. The last advantage of joint stock company is balanced regional development. Means in every country, all parts, all states must be equally developed. If that is not done, that leads to indifference in the society. We cannot have a society where one area is highly developed and other area is not developed. So all regions of the country must be equally developed, means they should have proper roads, proper infrastructure facilities, communication, irrigation facilities, schools, hospitals. They must be there in every part. That means every part of the country must have equal opportunities of working, equal facilities of survival. So for that purpose, we require establishment of joint stock companies at different parts of the country. So by establishing joint stock companies at every corner of the world country, we can see that all regions, all states, all districts are equally developed. If that is not done, that leads to so many problems. For example, we have seen from 1969, Telangana was fighting for a separate state when compared to Andhra Pradesh. Why? Because Telangana people were feeling that they were underdeveloped. They did not have employment opportunities. They are not given their proper share in the jobs and water, other resources. So they fought for a separate state. So from 1916 to 2069 to 2014, they fought for separate state and they have achieved. So if otherwise say Andhra and Telangana if had equally developed, then we did not have that problem. Like that everywhere, not only in Telangana, but we see in Assam, Sikkim, in some parts, when regions are not equally developed, they fight for separate statehood or some benefits. So these problems will arise when society has got imbalance. One area is highly developed, the other area is not developed, means we will have some problems. To overcome those issues, we have to see that all regions are equally developed. Means every area should have equal facilities like roads, hospitals, schools, banks, etc. should be there. The people of all regions should have equal employment opportunities. To have that, joint stock companies will help us. So by establishing their units, their branches, their factories at different parts of the world, they will see that all regions are equally developed. Okay, so these are the advantages of joint stock company. First one is limited liability. Second, large financial resources. Third, continuity of existence. Fourth, benefits of large scale operations. Fifth, liquidity. Sixth, professional management. Seventh, research and development. Eighth, tax benefits. Ninth, employment opportunities. 10th, balanced regional development. It's a very important answer. First you go through the features, then we have got advantages. In our next class, we will be learning about disadvantages of joint stock company.